Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Passage, a channel where we improve English through meaningful conversations and thoughtful discussions. I'm Arav, and today we are bringing you a special episode of Voices for the Environment. Joining me is Mira, who shares a deep concern for nature and sustainability. Welcome, Mira.
Thank you so much, Arav. I'm really happy to be on English Passage, and I love the idea of learning English while talking about real-world issues.
That's exactly our goal. Let's begin with a fundamental question. When you hear the word environment, what comes to your mind first?
The environment for me is the life support system of our planet. It includes the air we breathe, the water we drink, the land we live on, and every form of life around us. Without a healthy environment, human progress has no meaning.
That's very clearly explained. Do you think people truly realize how dependent we are on the environment?
Not always. Many people believe technology can solve every problem, so they ignore nature's limits. But nature always responds to how we treat it.
And sometimes that response is quite harsh. Floods, heat waves, droughts.
Exactly. Climate change is a direct result of years of environmental neglect. It affects food production, water availability, and even mental health.
Some people still say climate change is exaggerated. How would you explain its seriousness to them?
I would ask them to look around. Unusual weather patterns, rising temperatures, and frequent natural disasters are clear signs. Climate change is not an opinion, it's a reality.
That's an important point for our listeners, especially English learners who may want to express such opinions confidently.
Yes, and language becomes powerful when we use it to raise awareness.
Let's move to daily life. What are some everyday habits that unknowingly damage the environment?
Overconsumption is a major issue. Buying more than we need, wasting food, leaving lights and appliances on, and excessive plastic use all add up. These habits seem small, but have long-term consequences.
I think many of us are guilty of at least one of those habits.
Absolutely, including me at times. The key is not perfection, but awareness and improvement.
Many people feel environmental protection means giving up comfort. Is sustainable living really uncomfortable?
Not at all. Sustainable living often leads to a healthier and more balanced lifestyle. Simple habits like walking more, eating local food, and reducing waste can improve overall well-being.
That changes the way people look at sustainability. What role do you think governments and organizations should play?
They have a huge responsibility. Strong environmental policies, sustainable infrastructure, and public awareness campaigns are essential. However, policies only succeed when people support them.
So it's truly a shared effort. What about workplaces and offices?
Offices can reduce paper usage, save energy, and promote eco-friendly practices. Even small initiatives like digital documentation or waste segregation can create impact.
That's very relevant for corporate listeners of English Passage.
Yes, environmental responsibility applies everywhere, not just at home.
Let's talk about education. How important is environmental education for children?
It is extremely important. When children grow up respecting nature, they naturally become responsible adults. Education shapes values, not just knowledge.
Sometimes children remind adults to switch off lights or taps.
That's true, and that's a hopeful sign for the future.
Despite awareness, many people still don't take action. What do you think holds them back?
Fear of change, lack of motivation, and the belief that one person cannot make a difference. But change always starts with individuals.
History proves that one step can inspire many.
Exactly. Protecting the environment is not a choice. It's a responsibility we owe to future generations.
As we approach the end of this episode, I'd like to ask you one final question. What message would you like to give our viewers on English Passage?
I would like everyone to remember that the environment supports every aspect of our lives. The food we eat, the air we breathe, and the water we drink all come from nature. When we take care of the environment, we are actually taking care of ourselves and future generations. Protecting nature does not always require big actions or complicated plans. It begins with small, everyday habits like saving water, reducing plastic use, and respecting natural resources. If millions of people take small, responsible steps, the collective impact can be truly powerful. Our planet is our only home, and every generation has a responsibility to leave it better than they found it.
That is a very meaningful perspective, Mira. Sometimes we forget that environmental protection is not only about forests and oceans, but also about our daily lifestyle choices. Your words remind us that responsibility begins with awareness. And conversations like this help spread that awareness.
Exactly. The more we talk about environmental responsibility, the more people start thinking about their actions. Awareness often becomes the first step toward positive change.
Before we finish today's episode, let me ask you one last question. If someone listening today wants to start making a difference immediately, what would be the first step you recommend?
I would suggest starting with observation. Pay attention to your daily habits and notice where you might be wasting resources. Once you become aware of those habits, you can slowly replace them with more sustainable choices. Change does not need to happen overnight. Steady progress is more important.
That sounds realistic and achievable for everyone.
Yes, sustainability should feel practical, not stressful. When it becomes a habit, protecting the environment feels natural rather than difficult.
I really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you, Mira, for sharing your thoughts and insights with such clarity.
Thank you, Arav. It was a wonderful experience being part of English Passage Podcast and discussing such an important topic.
And thank you to all our viewers and listeners for joining us on English Passage Podcast. We hope today's conversation helped you practice listening to English while also reflecting on an important global issue. If you enjoyed this discussion, continue exploring meaningful conversations with us here on English Passage Podcast. Until next time, keep learning, keep listening, and keep caring for your English and for our planet.